executive heart with a mediator's light, turning hard talks into paths that feel right. Hosting just jacks, we lift every voice. Re-entry with dignity, give people a choice. Restorative justice, repair what was torn. Conflict resolution, new trust can be born. Family reunification, bring loved ones back. Hosting just jacks, we stay on that track. Hosting. Sitting with the hurt and the harm in one room. Let truth breathe easy so grace can bloom. Victim offender mediation, step by step. Teaching how to listen and make a safe rep. From cell blocks to classrooms, from courts to the street. Designing programs where real people meet. Community centers and facilities too. Building bridges that carry us through. 50 states traveled, a map full of skies. Showing how to journey with wide open eyes. Workshops and pages, your wisdom in ink. When the world needs mending, you help it rethink. Host of just jacks, we lift every voice. Re-entry with dignity, give people a choice. Restorative justice, repair what was torn. Conflict resolution, new trust can be born. Family reunification, bring loved ones back. Hosting just jacks, we stay on that track. Host out. When the lights fade low, the mission stays bright. Re-entry with dignity, we step toward the light. Restorative justice in motion, hearts reconnect. Conflict resolution with courage and respect. Family reunification, we open the door. Host of just jacks, keeping the circle square.
We did it. Y'all are back. I love you all. Thank you guys so much for being here because doing a show every single week could be very lonely if there were not amazing people in the comments already. Kenny Dunner, thank you as always for sending me my reminder for my own show. It makes me feel so loved because some days I forget my own name. I swear it's the craziest thing. Oh, wow. We got a couple new people that have not been around here for a while. I'm talking to you, Dean. Welcome. It's so great to see you. Oh, I'm so happy that there's so many great people here. Guys, we got a lot to talk about tonight. I've got two amazing men. They are going to blow your minds because I need to learn about them along with you because I've been doing that whole lurker thing for quite some time. You know, we've been talking a lot, we've been doing all the things, but we have never had Zooms. I have never had phone calls with either of these gentlemen. So you guys are going to learn about them along with me. So glad to see you guys here. Kinga, you beat David Causey. You were the first comment tonight, and I'm a little concerned because I haven't seen him show up yet. So either he forgot it's Monday or he fell asleep on me for the first time because he is usually on with his popcorn like 10 minutes before I even go live. And so if anybody wants to buzz him, remind him we miss him. He's like our wake-up call. I haven't seen him yet, unless StreamYard's doing one of those crazy things with LinkedIn and not wanting to show me comments. So we have got people in the house on YouTube tonight. We have got LinkedIn. We have got Facebook. We've also got Charles' LinkedIn. So if you are a new friend because of Charles, if you came here to support Jason or Charles, welcome. Thank you. Appreciate you so much. This is amazing because you get to learn about other people, not just pitching themselves in the beginning. You get to learn about them as humans, and then they can pitch anything they want because every one of us has different reasons that we're on social media, that we're willing to come on a podcast, that we're willing to show our face. We have causes we believe in. We have businesses we're trying to grow. We have people we want to support or do different things. And that's what this vibe is all about. So a couple things before I get Jason on stage. First and foremost, guys, it is the last Monday of February. How is it going to be March already on Sunday? It is our last Monday in Black History Month. And I want you to remember that Black history is something we deserve to celebrate every single day of the year, all the time, no matter what. It's also what I call the month of love because we just had Valentine's Day not too long ago. And some of you know on the side, I'm doing a lot of romance coaching and working on relationships and dating for people. So if you haven't checked out my Just Jax advising page, you can also find me on TikTok, Trippin' with Jax. That is where I do the romance, the love, the life, relationship stuff on there. And I do a newsletter now every Sunday. So if you missed that, you can go back and check that out. It's called Love and Stuff, and you can find it right on my page. We got some exciting stuff coming up. On Wednesday, Damien and I come back on stage together to co-host Wishful Wednesday. That will be at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard. So some of y'all that are really tired right now, it's a little bit earlier on Wednesday. That one is only a pop-up. We're doing that like maybe every other month. We may get back to monthly. We may do it quarterly. It depends on how things go. We know we're doing it this Wednesday, and then we're going to do it the end of April, but we're not going to do anything in March. So make sure you check us out. Because it's the end of February, you only have a couple more days. If you want half off services with me, you got to reach out immediately because those services are going to end the end of February as 50% off. If you are interested in learning more about the virtual wellness experience, reach out to Damien or Dr. Tanya. I am still giving away one free ticket. This is an amazing 2-day experience, all kinds of wellness information, so many cool things, and you could win. Okay. All you have to do is write in the comments, I want a ticket, or I want to go to the virtual wellness experience. And I will draw by the end of the week. Anybody that goes back, even if you watch the replay on it, let me know because I would love to have you join. So many good things. So many good things. And if you have a team, they let your whole team watch with one ticket. It's the coolest thing. I love doing it as a professional development opportunity for my team. It's a very, very cool thing. So how are you guys doing? Guys, we got somebody from Tomorrowland on. Charles is going to be up on stage after Jason, and he is live from Hong Kong, like totally Tuesday for him. It's my Monday. That's the beauty of this global networking. So remember, when you come to my show, it is all about respecting people. It is all about getting to know people as humans, because without relationships, this world would suck. I mean, it would just be tough. We got enough violence in the world. We've got enough crazy stuff going on. We've got enough women and girls that are not being validated and that are being still forced to not even have the files opened and people be actually charged for crimes in this country. It is blowing my mind. We have to work together. We got to get together and say enough is enough. We deserve to be happy, healthy, safe humans, and we can't do that alone. So thank you all for being here. I got the pleasure last week of having no guests because they were ill or they had issues that came up. It was not a pleasure that they were ill. It was not okay being alone. But guess what? My comment people, my circle, they stepped up. They joined on stage. They loved on the comments. And I was able to actually acknowledge the people that were in the room tonight. So many great people. Check out the comments. If you're on YouTube, you can't see who's talking on LinkedIn. If you're on LinkedIn, you can't see who's talking on there until I bring up the comments, which I'll start doing when our guests start talking, because otherwise I get super distracted if you can't tell. So I don't have the time tonight to say hi to everybody that's in the audience, but I'll go back and acknowledge you guys because I'm so thankful you're here. Jason and Charles are here, and they're going to be thankful you're here. They're going to be excited. Send comments or questions their way as well. But I don't want to keep talking because I want you to get to know these humans. Are you guys ready for them? Are you ready? I'm ready. We're bringing Jason up first, and here he comes. Boom. Hello, my friend. How are you?
I'm doing amazing. I'm doing amazing. I mean, considering all things, but I'm well. I'm well. Glad to be on here with you.
I appreciate that. And Jason's tech was not loving my StreamYard link, I'm just going to say. So I would be like going like this if he didn't message me and say, hey, I'm trying and I'm doing it. So
Sure.
if you're for a podcast guest for somebody and you have tech issues, you make sure to let that host know like he did. It helps
Most
our show so
definitely.
much. Jason, it's so nice to finally put your face other than just a picture or your post on LinkedIn.
For
Dude, you
sure.
got a following, man.
Grateful. I'm grateful. I've been out here building relationships for a long time, and I'm very accessible in the Twin Cities and beyond. I've been grateful to be able to travel all across the country, man, like all over the nation, do some work in Canada, and just grateful to feel the love everywhere I go, man. So I just try and give that all the time. So yeah, when I'm struggling with tech and stuff, the best thing I could do is give a heads up, like, hey, I'm struggling. But
Yeah.
it worked out. So I'm just grateful to be able to hold on to the amazing relationships, because I always tell people that's what's primary. Everything we accomplish and do, that's derivative, but the relationships are important. So yeah.
Uh-huh. Well, before we get into all of your story, I have 3 questions I ask every guest that comes on stage, just kind of
Cool.
to relax people, get people to know you. But what I got to tell you first before I start your questions is congratulations on your pardon.
I got
That's
it at
just
the right
amazing,
time.
dude.
I appreciate that. Deep gratitude. I got it at the right time too. Before all this madness happened, to get my rights restored and to be able to be. I appreciate the love, man. I can't keep up with all the comments and talk, but I
I
see
know.
y'all and I'm grateful. Um, yeah, to have my liberties back or be given my rights back, it's like an honor. We talk about liberation, but I actually got a taste of it with being pardoned. So yeah, everywhere I go now, I got the cleanest record in the room, and I make sure everybody knows that. I say, hey, I got like the cleanest, but it's been a long time coming. It was a 5-year fight, and we actually pulled it off before the end of the meeting. And shout out to Georgia Fort. If y'all could show her some love, she fighting charges, trying to charge her as a journalist, but that was her vision to show me being pardoned. So shout out to her for having that vision, because I did not know why she wanted to meet at the Capitol, but I trust. And again, it's the relationships. Oh man.
I mean, look at that face. Like that says it all. Says it all.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm pretty
Horrible.
sure I might know one of the answers to the first question, but you can pick something else other than what we just highlighted.
Okay.
Share
Yeah.
share 2 things that you are proud of yourself for, things you've accomplished, Jason. Let people know a little bit about what you believe is good stuff about Jason.
I think what I've accomplished most is, I've always put my family first, no matter what I'm working on or what I'm doing. I get them the heads up. I've been in controversy. I've been in battle out here for a lot of things. And for me, I wear my heart on my sleeve. You know what I mean? I don't do one thing. I'm multidimensional. I teach, I train, but mainly I'm a humble servant. You know what I mean? I'm a husband, I'm a father. So really, I think people need to know I'm a role player. I think that's the best thing I do over anything. When I show up to a situation, do y'all need me to be the nurse? Y'all need me to get people organized? Do y'all need me? I don't show up believing that, I got one role to satisfy when I come here. It's like, no, what y'all need. So I always show up with a servant spirit rather than you know, one role that I'm supposed to do. No, I don't know what the situation need, and I just want to be able to help or aid. So I think that's the thing. I put family first over all successes or anything, long as the fam got and I got a big family. So I mean, like overall siblings, cousins, as long as they know what's coming and they don't really feel bad about my steps, I ain't really tripping.
I love that. That's so cool. So family first, what else? What else do you want to share that you are proud of yourself for?
That I kept my sanity through the trenches, man. I've been incarcerated. I got shot when I was younger, so I got my femur was broken. I had to walk all over again. But I told the community that I was gonna come back and that I was gonna change. I mean, I said it a lot of times before I actually did it, but I always had the intent. At 15, 16, if you went to high school with me in Chicago, or you were there when I graduated high school in Iowa, or you were a part of moments, I always said, I'm going to change, man. I'm not going to be in the trenches forever. So I think actually fulfilling that promise and then, helping other people, because it ain't just about my success. I've created probably more leaders out here than anybody else. And that's probably one of my biggest attributes. I co-create leaders out here who last the test of time and stick around and do a lot of good for the community. And for that, I'm proud.
That is huge because you could just be screw all these people. I'm finally free. I can go do what I want, just spend the time with my family, deal with whatever I want to deal with. But yet you're putting it out there and you're giving people the hope and the
Yeah.
opportunity that 15 and 17-year-old Jason probably did not have.
Not at all, man. I'm like, I was born in the wrong era. I needed all these gadgets. They got gadgets. They got all kind of things, man. All kind of portals, man. I needed some portals when I was growing up in Chicago, but hey, I'm proud of the journey. I could say that I'm 47 now, getting gray and everything, and I'm like, I'm enjoying it. So
Yeah,
just gratitude. I walk in that every day.
I love that so much. So, um, we know you've succeeded in a lot of things. You do professing, you do presentations, you're all over the place and everything. But what is something, because each of us cannot stop learning. We have to keep growing or we'll get stagnant and our brain will get all mushy and it'll be miserable. What is
Yeah.
something you're willing to share that you're still learning or you're still growing in yourself?
Well, I'm tracing my roots, so that's a big thing. Like I don't fully know who I am, so that's one thing that's like I'm grateful to do research on a lot of different topics, but I still want to know my lineage to the furthest extent. And now, I'm actually in the 1800s and I'm like we tracing and I'm like, okay, it feels good, like now we in 1795. So we getting further and I got to visit some places in the flesh just to be able to like feel it in my body. So somatically, I'm a person who goes to a place and say, okay, does it feel like my people is here or does this like, not feel like that? But I have to always test it out. I'm not somebody who could read it and just be like, "Oh, I get it." I say, "No, I want to go to Harper's Ferry. Let me see where all of this stuff happened between John Brown and all these folks, or let me go here." So I take a lot of people with me throughout the country and into Canada. I've been to Canada 6 times and I brought at least 15, 20 people each time. So that's one thing, I can host big things with a lot of people, but I really like stuff like this where it's like more intimate. You asking real questions, you know what I mean? Things like that. So it's like I'm more into the sacred rather than the things to push us further because at the end of the day, the people you see on the way up, them the people you're gonna see on the way down. And I
Mm,
failed 3 times before I got it right. And like I say, I'm just grateful to be able to pay it forward so many more times. And most people don't get a chance to do that. So I want to show people how, you know.
love that. And you laughed at the 3 times, but so many people
Yeah.
take more than 3 times. More than
Yeah,
3 times in any aspect of our life because we are learning and growing and we grow through all the ick we've done.
for sure.
We can't learn if life is just perfect and roses and butterflies. So I love that you acknowledge that. So my last
Yeah.
official question before I want to turn it over to you and really get you sharing what you want to share tonight. Even though you travel a lot, where
Yeah.
if you could go right now, no matter how much money, how much vacation time, how many things you have to say no to, where would you go right now?
Well, I can't really leave right now because it's like we got
Pretend,
madness here.
pretend.
I'm gonna pretend, right? Right. I mean, oh man. So these won't be good, but this what my heart is though. You know what I mean? So I'm speaking from heart, not from the dream. Because if I had it my way, it's like I gotta see Africa. I gotta go to London. It's places that already I want to like. And I got my passport in the pandemic, so I never really had a chance to really travel like that. So just right now, I got to get back to Canada. I got some people in a small town called Buxton. Oh, I'm wearing their stuff too. Y'all ain't gonna know about them. It's not on the map or nothing like that, but it's a village that whenever I come through, it's like I can continue to build it up in a short amount of time, and they take things way further. So shout out to them, the amazing youth there. I went to about 4 high schools when I was in Chatham last time. And it's just a place we go to like show people like during slavery times when black folks was trying to get to a place, a lot of them landed in Buxton and Chatham and they showed what they could do. So I get to see what a lot of my ancestors built when they made it over there. And my people over there hold the story. So when I'm with them, I'm with people who had the vision of being free and sustaining in a major way. And just grateful to be able to have love over there and be, loved and archived. And they try to feed me way too much food because I'll be like, I don't even eat like that, man. I don't want to disrespect y'all, but
Aw.
they want to feed me everything. And I accept and definitely overextend my boundaries when I'm with them because they safe people, they loving people, and I'm just grateful to be able to be in community with them too. So if I can get somewhere right now, I say Canada, but I know it's some people on here that are from LA because I had to cancel my LA. I had to just
There's so
because
much.
it's madness here right now, and I don't feel safe leaving at all right now. You know what I mean? They could knock on my door right now. So that's why it's like right now I can't think and dream like I want to, and I've had to cancel a lot of things. But once we can let the dust settle, I mean, it's going to be a lot of dust. I'll say that. When we let the dust settle, we'll be able to move forward. But we got some police shootings and all that happening right now in our neighborhood. So it's high alert right now. But in a couple months, I look forward to going to Canada. Then I'm coming to Cali and everywhere else where people have been good to me, for real.
I appreciate you acknowledging that. There's a lot of people that don't even know what's going on in your cities in Minnesota. And even if they think they know, they're not living it, and they're not living it with non-white skin. And
Yeah.
it's a whole different experience that you must have and your family has. And it's interesting because when you first committed to this date, we would have never thought what was going on was going on. And for you to still be willing to be like, I'm going to go on Jackie show and we're going to chat with all these people. And another thing, almost every picture I've seen, other than your ones of your pardon, the ones we just showed, you usually have such a tough look on your face, and your smile just freaking lights up the world. Look
I
at that.
appreciate that. I
And
appreciate that.
we need you out there, and we need you to feel safe, and we need you to get those words out to people that maybe don't feel safe in those communities and stuff. So just being here today, extra level of thank you and gratitude to you, Jason. So I want to turn it over to you. Let's talk about this. There are some people that don't even know how to pronounce the word abolitionist. I sometimes screw the frick up, let alone spelling that the past couple of days. Some people don't know what a pardon even is. Whatever you want to share, this is your time. I will put links to your the video that you shared with me and a couple of your other business stuff after the show, but you can put anything in there as well that you want once you're done speaking. But to talk now, let us know what you want to share. It's your turn.
Yeah, for sure. And I do open it up for questions in the chat. So if you can watch that, I'm open to that. I'm not here to talk at y'all. You know what I mean? I'm here to talk with y'all. So if y'all got anything, that's pertinent that you want to know, I'm down to answer that too. But for the most part, I'll just say I grew up on the south side of Chicago. Jesse Jackson lived 3 blocks away from me. So rest in peace to Jesse Jackson. I went to Parkside Community Academy, again, about 4 blocks from Jesse Jackson's house. And it was the trenches, you know what I mean? It was tough, teenage parents. And my father developed a heroin addiction at 16. And, he overdosed, 4 years ago from, heroin. So my whole life I had father issues, but I ain't gonna say my whole life. I guess about 12 years ago, I started sharing my journey of trying to release him because I knew wasn't nothing gonna break through it. And I was just sad because I was like, I see people with their dads, I see people doing things, and my kids consider me the best father. So, you know what I mean? So I'm just like, I don't get why I can't piece this up. I do it all over. I've led circles in Hawaii. I've done transformative justice circles in San Francisco. I've done it all over Texas, you name it. I've been able to piece up gang violence, but couldn't figure out the stuff with my own father. But amazing mom. Again, they were teenage parents. We grew up together. And love my siblings, but I always said I was going to turn it around. So I grew up being smart, but being bad. So 2nd grade fights, 3rd grade, all throughout, bad, but I had some level of intellect that would get me through. And I'll just say I bumped my head along the way. Played basketball, 4 years high school ball. That was amazing. Competed at the highest level. I was vicious on the court. I love the game. I love the game. But got in trouble when I came to Minnesota at the age of 18. And I was trying to protect me and my friends because somebody pulled a gun on us and still tried to piece it up the right way. I said, I'll fight y'all. We don't got to go to no guns. And, the police intervened and, I ended up getting caught with a firearm. And it was like, I never got the chance to tell my story until last August. And that's when y'all heard me speak for myself about that story because before I never made a statement to the police. So when I say the term abolition, it means, and I use Miriam Kaba's definition. I didn't even think I was going to use her definition, but Miriam Kaba says I'm an abolitionist because of 2 things. I care about my relationships and I care about how we address harm. So when people think I'm just saying abolish the police and all, they bad for my health out here. I've been choked by police. They've thrown my clothes in the snow and pissed all over my clothes before. I've been through too much with police. So I know it's like I wanna just separate myself as much as possible. I'm trying to live. The best thing for me is to like protect my health so I can always come home like they say they want to do. So I have to always say, what ecosystems am I creating? Because I didn't have things growing up. I started selling drugs at 14. My mom caught me with a large amount of drugs at the age of 15, sent me to Iowa. And going to Waterloo, Iowa was a blessing, but it was just like the state of Iowa. Okay, I'm seeing Stony Island. Hey, you talking about my neighborhood a little bit. Like, come on now. But
So Coach Bill and Coach Carey both said that they are from Southside too.
but I went to Dunbar, so I hooped for Dunbar, but I lived. I say 75th and Jeffrey made me. You know what I mean? So if we talk in Chicago, to name the blocks that like really invested in me, it was those areas. But I always was around like I mean, my camp, my sophomore year, the Chicago Bulls was at the camp. So I played at a high level. I felt like I was number one. Even with Kevin Garnett and all of them, I still always felt like I'm the best. Like, I don't care what y'all talking about, who y'all name. But it was like, for me, growing up in the city, I always knew I wanted to do something important. The opportunities just didn't pan out. Like I say, I lettered my sophomore year, 1,000 points before my senior year. I played, I hooped, I defended, I did all of that. Went to the Botillion Ball, did all the homecoming dances, all 4 years. Went to prom. Went to prom with a college girl, might I? but,
I just wanted to
no,
throw
but,
that in.
I really, again, the relationships are always important, and I just like wanted to do something that made sense. So after getting caught with a gun, my reputation by the state was just that I'm a criminal, and nobody felt like that around me. Nobody in my communities, and I said, "Yeah, I'm holding these felonies, so the police just can do whatever to me, rip the tent off my car, do all these things, but I'm still in high standing in the community." So after just, going through a lot of hardship, getting incarcerated, getting shot, going to prison for 40 months after getting shot, it was a lot of things. And I'm just grateful to make it through those things. And I always promised my mom that I would figure it out. So altogether, I may be done maybe 7, 8 years of incarceration. It was all nonviolent offenses, but at the same time, it was a lot of violence when harm was happening. Like, I got shot up. They shot the person who brought me to Minnesota up. So it was a lot of things, but I was able to come home and go to college. That's where I met my wife in a corrections class of all classes.
I love that.
But I was an organizer, and I was volunteering for Angela Davis and other people who really did movement work, and they like blessed me into organizing 22 years ago. And I mean, I walked into the convention center with Angela Davis in 2004, and she walked in, like, put her arm around my arm, and oh my God, was I sweating? I'm like, what?
You're like, why
It
don't I
was,
have a picture of that?
oh my God, no, it was just like, yo, this Angela Davis, like, she had already gave a lot of jewels leading up to the event. Like, we had talked so much, and she was super prepared, and she knew about me and my trials and tribulations. And I met her like what, not even a year after really getting out of prison. So it was a blessing. Chuck McDougall was my advisor, and he was the co-founder of SNCC, the Student Nonviolent Coordinator. So I fell into a village that just said, we got you no matter what, you one of ours. So that's why I love the city so much, because they gave me a chance when I might not have got these opportunities in other places, because the stigma strong if you cause harm. But when I came home, I got to it and I became a professor. So it's like I teach criminal justice courses, and I'm at Hamlin now. So I teach a restorative justice course this semester. Like I said, I run my Institute of Aspiring Abolitionists. We started an org here called Relationships Evolving Possibilities. We answer calls when community going through things. Started that after George Floyd was killed. And people don't know me like as anything other than like an organizer. I'm talking even back to when I was like in elementary school. So I always was fighting for something on the basketball court. Every ref hated me because I'm arguing. I'm arguing. It's like, don't cheat me, man. Give me a fair one. Give me a fair one. So for me, like my work, it didn't matter if I was in a jail cell and I'm outnumbered with people who don't like black folks. They might be supremacists or whatever they might be. I'm not backing down. So it's like it's part of my reputation to be able to see like some of my like values that I have and see my kids now who are 14 and 18. I get to see them out here in community and hear the things people say about them. And I'm like, oh man, like to be able to shift things around and break some generational curses, it's pretty dope. And I like tell everybody you can strive and do great things, but humility take you a long damn way, man. People helped you, people prayed for you, people sent good vibes. People did a lot of things for me, and I never forget that. So that's why I say every day I walk in gratitude. I didn't do shit by myself. No, like I ain't gonna cuss on him no more, but I didn't do nothing by myself. Everything was a community victory, even that pardon. And like I said, being able to reciprocate, yeah, I know. Sometimes you got to use a word like
I knew
that.
it was going to happen.
Yeah.
Jason,
sure.
like I knew you were going to be super interesting, but holy shit, like seriously, you just say all this stuff. I was shot and gun in prison just like it was just yesterday, and you're just like talking about going to the beach or something like that. And that's what the world needs is we need to figure out how not to get stuck in the crap that does happen to us, the crap that our families brought us into, our friends brought us into, whether it was the courts or our teachers, anybody that was shaming us or they weren't giving us what we needed to. We don't deserve to be stuck in what they tried to make us be or who they thought we were. And I love how you shouted out your support and how people knew you as you. And that's the thing. Too many people don't realize that. They want to lump people together if they look like this, if they walk like this, if they were born this place, if they were, one time they made a decision, and that one human is the culmination of the one bad decision they ever made, or the 3, or the 7, or the 20, as long as we're working towards making it better. These comments are just lighting up like crazy. I can't go through all of them because they're amazing. If you have time,
if it's 1 or 2 questions, I'll answer it
real quick.
Just so it is.
Gregory wanted to know what position you played.
All of them. I mean, well,
why does that not surprise me?
So I'll say this. So my position was the 3, small forward, but my heart was everything. So if I need to guard the center, I'm guarding you whether you 6'11". I don't care. So it's my heart. If you the point guard and you having a good game, now I'm at point guard because I'm guarding you. So I was a defender first. So whatever the best offensive player you had was, that's my position for that game. I don't care. Like I'm guarding the person who had 40 points the game before me. So I don't know. Anybody who played with me know it was like I'm a down that basketball court, and that's how competitive I am with organizing. I have ecosystems out here, and I'm the co-founder of Humanize My Hoodie. That was a project. Man, John Legend gave me an award for that, and he gave me some money too. So shout out John Legend for real. Like I don't even talk about that much. Yeah, like I don't even talk about that much, but shout out to him like for noticing my work and lifting me up on his platforms and all of that good stuff. But it's like my abolition work has went into so many different communities to where it's not theory anymore. It's fully praxis where you learn it and doing. So it's like I'm grateful. I just rolled off the board of Voices for Racial Justice. I was on that board for 10 years. So for me, I've put in the work out here to show that I'm redeemed. And it's like for me to bring other people, home and to help survivors who've gone through harm. And I help them get justice. I'm grounded. Like I'm not too high up here or too low down here. I'm in the midst of all of it. So it's like what people know about me the most is I respect people the same, no matter if you're a young person, old person, head of the office, clean the office. I don't care. I show respect to the secretary. That's just how I am. And it's like, if nothing else, whether I have a great role or if I fall off and I can't write no more and I'm not going to put out a book and let's say it's that way, I know I've lived a life of full love, and people have shown that publicly, privately, all throughout. And I'm just like, it just make me emotional, man. Cause it's like I used to be in the cage, like, damn, man, how did I end up here, man? Where I'm in solitary confinement. Dang, man, like can't talk to my mom or nobody. Damn. I was able to redeem all of that and make it up to my mom and make it up to my siblings and be able to say, no, y'all got me here. I'm out forever now. We done with that. And it's like I can only thank the village for giving me opportunities, because if everybody closed the door on me, I don't know where I would end up. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like I know what I wanted to do, but it was people who said, I think you'll be good at teaching. Or you ever thought about training? So people planted seeds. If not for those people, I'm not here talking to you with this clarity, you
Huge.
know?
Oh, dude, I think we could talk for 72 hours. I love all of this. You have
I
just like
appreciate that.
and you just help my heart, because the world is in major tragedy right now, and probably more so in your community than so many other ones right now. And yet you're filling us with all this joy and this hope and just the
Sure.
opportunity. And if every one of us that's listening tonight or watching the replay can actually just tell one other person how amazing they are and the potential they have, and tell them,
Sure.
like Jason heard, you'd be a great teacher someday. You'd be this. I don't care if they're a kid or they're an adult. We need to hear that. We are so
Absolutely.
blocked off in our own stuff right now that we don't get to hear this. So, Jason, you really opened us up, and I appreciate you more than you know. I would love you to
Gratitude.
comment on some of those comments. Bill Rochelle wants to know if you know that jingle from Funtown and all the things. I do want to give you your time back and get Charles on stage, but
I
man,
appreciate you.
we got to do a
Most
recap.
definitely, most definitely. Thank
Let's
you.
do
You're
it
a
again.
great host, Jack. I like how you facilitated this. Like
Oh, I
we'll definitely
appreciate
be
it.
in touch.
Probably because I do restorative justice work, kind of like you, but not quite
For
as
sure.
intense. If I don't get
I
invited to
appreciate
Hawaii, doggone it.
that. It was a
Maybe we
one-time
need a
thing.
partner someday.
Right. I appreciate it though.
Oh, I
Gratitude for being on here. Shout out to
appreciate
everybody in the comments. Appreciate the love.
you, Jason.
Peace.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. And that's why I do this show. It's not because I'm like, oh, what earrings am I going to wear? What necklace am I going to put out there? Damn, there are some humans that I think I know who they are. And then they come on the show and I'm like, how did I not know that? How are they such great humans? And the world doesn't all know it. We need to get more people to know about each other for real. So thank you guys for shouting out so many great things in the comments, having fun tonight, asking questions, supporting our guests. And now it's time for Hong Kong in the house. Guys, it is literally Tuesday for Charles right now. And he was willing to come on, even though we're trying to figure out time zones and everything, because he's got some stuff to share. And you're gonna hear all about it from him, because I'll just screw it up, because there's some cool stuff you got to know about Charles. Are you ready for him, guys? Hello, my friend. How are you? Feel free to unmute and welcome yourself to the stage. You are still on.
There we are. Okay, now I'm unmuted. Yeah, I've got these giant jet engines running my computer here, which are quite loud. And so, yeah, I'll mute whenever you're speaking and unmute when I'm speaking as best as I can to minimize that background noise.
I appreciate that. So when I told you earlier that it sounded almost like there was like a wind tunnel or something, you're serious. That's amazing. We
Well,
don't always
yeah,
know what's going on. Charles, we've got so much to unpack. You have sent me some amazing pictures of some of the different cool things you've done, your family and all the things. But just like Jason, I'm going to start out with those 3 questions, because
sure.
a lot of people know you. You do a lot of shows. You have an amazing newsletter. You do all the things, but you're also in a different time zone from some of us. So like I'm asleep by the time your live show comes on, and I'm like, doggone, I couldn't stay up again. So start off by telling us 2 things that you are proud of that you have accomplished or done.
Well, first of all, just a big thank you to you for having me on your live tonight or this morning, my time. And also a thank you to Jason for his amazing and inspiring sharing. It's really humbling to hear what he's been through and the villages he described that took a stand for him, and what he's up to now, which is not dissimilar to what I'm up to now, but I come from a very different background, I think. But to answer your question, I think there's 2 things I'm really proud of. Number one would be my family. They're a significant source of pride for me. And today, your time, um, we're celebrating the triplets' 22nd birthday. So they were born. That's the triplets. That's Jasper and Karis, second and third from the right. That's me on the right, obviously. And then Sela, second from the left.
This one?
And Sebastian is our eldest, who's in the middle there with his bride, Olivia. This is October of 2025. And Tess and I are standing on the outside of that picture. And they are miracles. They were born 14 weeks premature. They spent 3 to 3.5 months in the NICU and nearly died. They were extremely, extremely sick. You can see a picture of Karis here when she had aspergillosis, which is usually a hospital-acquired condition when you can't survive the antibiotics and the drugs that they're giving you, and your body just starts to kind of crash. But she got better, and I remember the night when they were talking to me. Tess had to leave the room, but they were talking to me about pulling the plug the next day because they really thought that this was end days for Karis. And so my daughter's a doctor, so I had a list of like 10 questions that I'd been tracking throughout our ordeal. And I started saying, okay, well, he said, Karis is getting better. And this is the next day after the day after he says, we're worried that you're gonna have to pull the plug tomorrow. So tomorrow comes, I start going through this list. I said, okay, tell me why Karis is getting better. I asked this, I asked that, yada, yada, yada. And finally the doctor just puts up his hand and he says, stop. Mr. Caldwell, I'm unable to clinically explain why Karis is getting better. So here we are 22 years later. They are thriving in their unique ways. I also have an eldest son, super proud of him. Sebastian, he just, is such an inspiration, has tremendous resilience, graduated from high school in Hong Kong, went on to university, excelled at university, and then is working and has a job and married and is amazing. Also proud of my wife, Tess, who was a huge support for Hong Kong in the pandemic. She and another friend started what was called the Hong Kong Quarantine Group, which provided answers to people's questions when they were quarantined. And at one point it had 80,000 followers. She's a volunteer all across Hong Kong. And then now she's working on her Master's of Counseling. And then, so that's answer one, family. The second thing would be, I'm proud of my long HR career and my philosophy of lifting others. One of my taglines is, my ceiling is the next generation's floor. I really believe in mentoring. I had mentors when I was younger. I want to give back. So I'm involved in multiple mentoring programs here in Hong Kong. And when people reach out for mentoring, I really try to make an effort to squeeze them into my schedule and to give back. And I've had a successful career. I'm pivoting. Almost a year ago, I decided to pivot that career to get back into the side of resources that really speaks to me, which is about leadership development and coaching and mentoring. And that's what I've been doing for the past year.
Wow, that's a lot to be proud of, but guess what? You deserve to be proud of all of that. I mean,
thank you.
Just the fact of trying to do your business and be a family person and then have babies, not just one, but 3 babies that all needed you, and then have the other kids. And, kind of like Jason, nobody can experience what somebody experiences, because even if somebody else had triplets, even if somebody else had a baby that had that kind of a condition that they don't know how they survived, it's still your story. And I did not realize you had triplets until you wrote that it's going to be their birthday. I was like, how did I miss that too? And I see people in the comments like, triplets, Charles, how do we not know that? I love it so much. And, social media can bring us so close together. You're literally in Hong Kong on Tuesday. I'm in Michigan in the United States on Monday night. And it's just like we're sitting here having coffee together or on a couch chatting before a football game starts or something. And that's the beauty. But yet we don't always get to really deep dive. And we get to see their professional taglines. We get to see their great post and an occasional picture. And we get some people that are like, don't show any personal stuff, or, oh, you got to do this, or only talk like this. And you just shared a whole different side of yourself. And I love it so much. But no matter how accomplished you are, because we've had so many amazing pictures of you on stage and TEDx and being given all these awards and so many cool things, you went to your family. You went to your family. And that's pretty amazing. But what is something you're still growing in? What are you learning or challenging yourself on right now?
Well, just one thing about for the human resources people out there, such as Philippe, he might get a laugh out of this. One of the things that human resource people are always doing is they're always doing headcount reports for the business, and it's helpful now that you've got lots of software, and most companies have automated that process, and especially with AI, so you can do that headcounting yourself. But I do speak at a lot of conferences, and I would joke with people that I have headcount issues even in my family because I have triplets. Just hold on one second. So the area that I'm growing in, I'm really trying to push the envelope in the use of AI, and looking for ways to integrate AI into the executive coaching, leadership coaching process, and really trying to understand how companies are progressing in AI and where they're getting stopped in AI. I'm currently working on a doctorate of business administration. I'm about 60% the way through. I started that during the pandemic, and there were moments when I kind of scratched my head and said, "Why did I do this again?" Because like a PhD type project can be a long slide. But my research focuses on the effectiveness of virtual versus in-person coaching, and from the clients and the coach's perspective. And that's an area that's not really been well researched. It had some research before the pandemic, a lot of research, some research post-pandemic, particularly in the healthcare education field, but I want to focus in on the life, leadership, executive business coaching area, the business organizational area. So that's an area where I'm growing in for sure.
I love that. I love that so much, because so many people will say, "Oh, I can't go back to get more education. I'm too busy. I'm too busy. I'm too old. I've got other things going on." And you're doing it all and going back to get your thing. That's amazing. So I don't talk about it a whole bunch, but I am a executive director at a small nonprofit in my town, and we need more training for people going into executive roles that had never been in them before. I literally walked into my job. It was just over 5 years ago when I started, thinking I would do great because I knew the agency very well. I had worked there years in the past, and there was no commingling between me and the former director. So I literally walked into the office. The board president gave me the keys to the office, told me where the computer was, and said, "Have a great day," and left me. And
Yeah,
I was like,
amazing.
"Okay, all the staff are going to know exactly what to do. It'll be fine. I can do my own thing." No, no. It was rebellion. It was all the things. They didn't know who I was. They didn't want to trust me. And you don't prepare for something like that. So I hope as you grow in that and learn in that, that maybe I can get some snippets along the way and learn from your newsletter and all the good stuff too.
Yeah, well, one
So
of the LinkedIn Lives that I did, Jackie, several months ago, we got a whole bunch of coaches together, including Leslie Flowers, and we had a bit of a panel, and we had a coach from China, Coco Lee, and we were comparing sort of the state of the union with the coaching in different geographies, North America, Asia, China, and how the industries have progressed. And I think we've really moved out of the world of companies getting coaches to handle a problem person, and companies recognizing the value and the impact of coaches and mentoring. And in China, one of the things that Coco was sharing is that it's so high risk right now and so intense with all the turbulence and geopolitical issues that's happening in the world, the pressure on senior executives, that companies are increasingly using executive coaches specifically to onboard executives, to help them go through that transition that you didn't get when you went in to be in that executive director role.
Oh, I love that. I love that so much. So you are in a country that many of us would love to travel to someday. I don't know if it was always on your radar to move there, if it was a business reason or whatever, but say you could go anywhere in the world right now for a vacation, for a trip of your choosing, whether you bring the whole fam, whether you go on your own, where would you pick right now if there were no boundaries or issues?
If there were no boundaries or issues, I'm, really keen to explore Africa. I feel called to Africa. I was actually at a Jesus Culture Youth Conference several years ago, and I've gone to that conference twice in Reddit, California, and I think it was Reddit. Anyway, Redden, California. Anyway, it's in California. And the second time I went, the first time when I went with a group of people, or I went by myself, sorry. And at that conference, I had a really powerful calling to Africa. I haven't figured out how that would manifest yet, or what that means. But my first answer to that question was actually, if money was no object and time was no object, I would do the Clipper Round the World race. Now, it's always been a dream for me to do what used to be called the Volvo Ocean Race, but it's now called the Ocean Race because they lost the Volvo sponsorship. And there's a couple of around the world races like that, but my sailing is not at the level that I would be able to compete in the global ocean race. But I am an avid sailor, have been in the past, and the Clipper Around the World race will take people who are at any point in their sailing experience. And you can do parts of the journey, or you can do the whole journey. The whole journey would take you 8 to 12 months. And you stop in places like South America, South Africa, Australia, Asia, and USA, around the world as you do this race. And it's pretty intense. You know, the longest part is through the Furious 50s in the Southern Ocean. So it is a high risk adventure. But if money and time were no object, that would be definitely top of my list.
Oh, I love that so much that you like literally have been thinking about this. So a couple things. First of all, you talked about the word adventure. I post every day in February. I've been posting a love word for relationship growth in my Just Jax Advising page. And today's word that I literally posted like 5 minutes before we went live, you were actually still in the green room when I was posting it, was adventure. And it said, if you and your partner don't have the same adventurous, at least cheer them on. Would your partner go? Would your wife actually go around the world with you on that adventure? Would she be like, hey, I'll see you in 5 to 6 months or 8 months?
She has told me that she would not go. She's not a sailor. I mean, she has been sailing with me, and it's fine as long as there are calm waters. But she's told me that she would be happy to meet me in all the ports, and she would get to travel the world as well.
I love that so much, Charles. I appreciate that you guys have even had that discussion, because so many families don't, or they'll just be like, yeah, they probably wouldn't want me to do that, or they wouldn't go with me, or they told me that's, nothing I should do. So I love you guys even talking about that. So it's your turn, Charles. Tell us more about you. And I think it's important that people get to know not just there's so much you do, but how can they work with you? How can they learn about you? How can they do the things, or anything else you want to share? It is your turn.
Yeah, well, people can just reach out to me and start up a conversation, and there's a couple of sort of mantras that I believe in. One of it is my sailing is the next generation's floor. So I'm a big believer in, giving back to the next generation and developing future leaders. I love what Jason said about creating leaders, because that's really kind of a lot about who I am. I love to create leaders, and I'm not the kind of leader that would create leaders and then say, hey, look at the leader that I created. I'm what Rosabeth Moss Kanter would describe as a natural leader. That at the end of the day, when a group of people got it done, they would say they did it themselves. And I'm not necessarily looking for the glory or the recognition in it. But there's a couple of things that I think are important. One of the things that's happened this year, as I've gone into the second half of my life, maybe a little bit further into the second half of my life than exactly half, is that I've really started focusing on legacy impact goals. So the goals I work on, the conversations that I have, I really want to make sure that they make a difference. I don't want to get morbid with the amazing supporters that you have, but life is temporary, right? And it's death and taxes are certain in this world, unless you live in the Middle East and then you go tax-free. But life is temporary, and but ideas are permanent. So people, like Nicole, who are encouraging people to write books, write a book. If you have an idea in your mind and you want to write a book, get that book written, because those ideas, once they're outside of your head, get on the LinkedIn Live. Those ideas, once they're outside of your head, they're permanent. They're out there. They're for people in the future leaders, future people who are trying to move up, future people who are going through what Jason went through, or the ups and downs that I've been through, who can be inspired and can learn from those lessons. Look at all the books that we've read. But people love storytelling right now. It's a big theme, and it has been for a while, but it's very much in the genre right now, training people how to tell stories. So if you've got that book, my gosh, get it out of you. Or if you've got an article in you, my gosh, get it out, or get it out of you, and start, communicating that legacy. But also, that's very big picture. And I also look at more focused, for example, working with an executive or with a company leader or a CXO or CEO, we'll look at, okay, well, what legacy do you want to leave in this company? When you leave, what do you want them to be looking back and saying about you? And those are the sorts of conversations that I have people. All my goals for 2026 are oriented around legacy impact.
Oh, that's huge. I love that you dropped that because so many of us think that we have forever and, oh, I'll get to that in a couple weeks, or maybe I'll do that in a year or two, or this or that. It is the only thing that we have in common, because you even said taxes isn't everywhere. The only thing every human has in common is we will pass someday. And it may be something we get a little bit of a warning, and sometimes it will be something totally unexpected. And do what feels right in your heart now. You don't have to wait for the money, you don't have to wait for the time. And thank you for talking about that, because I think it's so important that people need to hear it from other people, that it's not just certain people that deserve to write their books. It's not just certain people that have important legacy. Every single life, the chances, I mean, and you probably know these statistics way better than I do because you're a statistic guy. You told me that. The fact that we were even created, the chances our biological parents meant to create us, their biological parents meant to create them, and so forth. The chances we are even a human is so outrageous. We deserve to all have a great life, and we deserve to leave that legacy for other people. So are you willing to take this question that Jane put out there?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. As an HR professional, what are your thoughts on gaps in employment? Okay, let me take these one at a time very, very quickly. Gaps in employment. I believe a gap in employment is okay. It's increasingly more common. We have got people who will have family members that are struggling with a serious illness, and to have a gap on a resume that you are, you took a family break. There's a number of different ways you could label that on a resume. A lot of people will respect that you took a break to look after a family member because other family members, or maybe you're the only family member, couldn't do that. I think a lot of employers recognize that we're in a layoff environment and have been in the last 10 to 15, 20 years. And, it's ups and downs. Sometimes the economy is better and then sometimes it's bad. So if you do get a layoff, I mean, the question is, what do you do during that layoff? What do you do during that gap? And I say to university students, because I do a lot of mentoring of the university students, if you're going to take a gap year, if that's fine, because sometimes people are just burnt out at the end of high school or at the end of the university and they need a break. But make sure that you create value for yourself during that gap year. So what are you going to do? Create a blog or write that book or write articles or volunteer for an organization. Accomplish something. Even it doesn't have to be a major thing, but just stay on top of your game, that you're constantly learning and living and so on. And so I think that those gaps in employment are good as long as people create value. In terms of ageism, my answer there is to go to Jessica Hernandez on LinkedIn. She's got about 250,000 followers. She is an expert on recruitment and helping people craft their resume to help them find the exact job that they're looking for. She has got the best answers for ageism. Any answer I'm going to give you that's best practice right now on ageism is going to come from Jessica Hernandez. She's the one. I'll tag her in the comments after the live. Lack of growth opportunities. Yeah, create mentoring programs. The 2 weeks notice for resignation, that's tough because we don't have that in most other markets. That's something that's particularly unique to the United States. So yeah, that's what those would be my answers to those questions. Thanks for those questions.
Thank you, because those were great questions. And I'm like, oh, I want to know the answers. I was writing down the ageism thing. The more I get older, the more I'm like, I need to know about all this stuff. Charles, the time goes so fast. I want you to take a minute to, what do you want to leave people with? Is there anything you were hoping to say that we didn't get to? I mean, there's so many great things that you've done. There's different accomplishments. You've TEDx'd it. I mean, come on. That's pretty amazing. You're on stages,
Right.
you're in classes, you're spreading the love with so many people. What else do you want to leave everybody with tonight?
Well, a couple of, other than legacy impact, really look at what legacy do you want to live or leave. And it doesn't have to necessarily be some deep philosophical, lifelong life purpose. It could just be in the job that you're working in now. How do you want to be known? And I don't really mean brand, right? I mean in terms of the type of leader that you were, the type of colleague and peer that you were. How do you want to be known? And I remember in one of the mentoring programs at Hong Kong University that I'm a mentor at, that they had these kind of high table dinners where they bring at the end of a day of speakers, the mentors and the mentees will go to a kind of like a black tie type of an event. And one of the professors got up and said, "It's Sunday night. You're working on an essay. It's due at midnight. It's submitted online at 12:01. It's late. There's no chance of turning back. And your friend phones up and they need help. They're not doing so well. What do? Do you keep doing your essay, or you go talk to your friend for 30 minutes and then go back to your essay?" And everyone in the room was kind of saying, "Well, you keep doing your essay because it's due at midnight." And he says, "No, what makes a difference? What makes a difference is to stop for 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes and talk to your friend and support your friend. And then you're going to go back and you're going to be more effective at at writing your essay. And who knows where your friend's at, that conversation could have a huge impact." So, that's even just like a micro example of leaving legacy. But the other thing I would say is you need to look after your own well-being. You can't pour from an empty cup. So put on your own oxygen mask first. Make sure that you're well. And once you're well, then you can look after the well-being of others, and you can look after the well-being of community, and then you can look after well-being and have a global impact. And the other thing I love is whatever's coming out of your mouth is the future you are inventing. So be careful about what you're talking about and what you say. People who are negative will generally create negative self-fulfilling prophecies. People who are positive will generally create positive self-fulfilling prophecies. Whatever's coming out of your mouth is the future you're inventing. And lastly is plant Easter eggs. And this is just something I love to do, and I've been doing it my entire life. Sometimes I do it more or less, but that's where I plant hidden notes for people. I remember when I was graduating from university, I failed my second year university. That's a whole other story altogether. But I went back, and after a year, I created value in the gap year. Went back a year later and redid the courses I needed to do, and ended up graduating on the Dean's Honors List. And when I graduated, I had a graduation picture, and then I had this other really cool picture that a bunch of my friends had taken of me sailing or something like that. And I asked my mom, "Which picture do you want a copy of? Because I'm going to make a picture." And she said, she looked at the two pictures, she loved them both, and she said, "Well, I want the graduation picture." So I put the graduation picture into a frame and gave it to her. What I forgot is that I put the other picture in the back of the frame with a note to my parents. Well, that was 1987. I'm dating myself here. Flash forward to literally Christmas 22. We're talking like 50 years later.
Whoa.
My mom and dad have passed away, and my sister opens up the back of that frame, and she sees, I'd forgotten about it, and she finds the message to my parents, the message to my mom, and the other picture. And I looked at her and I just exclaimed, half the house was asleep. I said, "You found the Easter egg. Oh my gosh, this is amazing." So that was the biggest high impact Easter egg I think I've ever had. But I'm always doing stuff like that. I have a video. I'll pick it. I'll drop it in the comments. The video is a 1-minute video. It's got 14 Easter eggs in it. If you go through the 14 Easter eggs, just for people who are watching this LinkedIn Live, the expiration date for the offer was July 31st. But if you go through the video, you go through it slowly, put it on half speed, and pick out all 14 Easter eggs, I'll give you a free exploratory coaching session with yours truly.
What a great thing to do. Easter eggs, free challenge. I love it. Charles, we could keep talking all night too. There's so much more I was hoping we could unpack, but this time goes by so fast. We're already past time. You've got life to get going to. Oh my gosh, so many comments. There's a lot of questions that have been popping off. If you're willing to go back and check into those when you get there. And I love Meryl just shouted out Leslie Flowers and said, "How proud are you of Charles tonight? It's amazing, isn't it? You did great. So great that this finally worked out for you and I with the time zone issue. Thank you for sharing your time with us. Thank you for the energy you give to future leaders and students and those looking for employment and all the things you guys do. And thank your wife for me for doing all she's done in Hong Kong, because the pandemic was something that we felt here, but I can only imagine was so much more intense in Asian countries and
It was
places on
pretty
those
wild
sides.
here.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate you. I hope to talk to you again very soon. We'll see you, Charles. Bye. Guys, guys, I told you I was learning with them. And yeah, you even got to see me knock off my love thing and everything. There's bloopers that happen when you go live, but there's great things that happen when you go live. You get to hear people in the comments saying things that you even get to learn from them. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting Jason. Thank you for supporting Charles. Guys, we're not done yet. Every single week on Mondays, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard, almost every time it's 2 guests. Guys, I am booked up until almost the end of April. There's only 1 or 2 little wiggle rooms. If you want to be a guest, if you have a story you want to share, you don't have to be a business owner. You don't have to do this or that. If it's something you want to come out and get to know people, let them know your story or what you're passionate about. I encourage you to reach out to me sooner than later, because it's getting pretty full. On Wednesday this week, again, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is Wishful Wednesday. Damien and I would love to hear you come on with us. You can just be there to support. You can come on stage with video, without video. You can type something in the comments, even if you can't be present, because when your wishes are put out there, kind of like Charles was just saying, thinking about, the things that you do, if you shoot yourself down negatively, I'm never going to get this, I'm never going to do this, it probably won't happen. If you put it out there and say, I expect this, I'm going to manifest this, I want to be the next this person, those things happen the more you say them out loud and the more you surround yourself with positive people thinking about it. So come to our show. Also on the 2nd, it's going to be March on Sunday. On March 2nd, next Monday, I'll still have my Jess Jackson guest show, but earlier in the night, there's actually a friends and family night for our 2350 network. You can reach out to Dr. Tanya Farron, you can reach out to Damien Kinsey, or if you want to reach out to me, I'd be happy to invite you as well, because I'm part of that 2350 network, and it fills me up. It gives me a professionally informal, wonderful group of loving, supporting people to just kind of build myself up and to learn from. And it's a community that you might want to be involved in with too. So feel free to come to us totally free on the 2nd. And if you have questions about my show, if you have questions about the newsletter, Jason, Charles, questions about any speakers we've had on the past, please reach out. Put your information in the chat as well, so we know how to connect with you when you take your time to be at a show like this. It means you're probably quality people we want to get to know too. So feel free to invite me to any of your shows. If they're daytime, they're really hard for me with my day job, but I want to support you guys as well. And I want to learn from you guys, because we are never too old to learn. Guys, please take care of yourself. Please give extra love to people that are in extra sad and scary and dangerous situations right now. We have a lot going on in Mexico. We still have stuff going on in Minnesota. There's things all over the entire globe that is not safe for humans. The more we can be safe and share positivity and should share support and to build relationships with other people, the better chances other people will start being safer and feel valued, and the evil forces will hopefully slow down and we can take care of each other in a better way. So I wish you the best. I hope to see you next week. I hope you guys have a great rest of your February. Go back and check out those love words. Help yourself with your relationship or your dating. Take care, guys. I appreciate you. I thank you. And gosh, those comments, I'm going to get back to them as soon as I can, because y'all are awesome. Okay, here we go. See ya.
Thank you for coming, for spending your time with us at Just Jacks, where repair can align. Re-entry with dignity, justice that restores. Conflict finds peace as we open new doors. Yeah. Family reunification under the same moon. Thanks so much for coming. We'll see you soon. Thank you for coming.